Executive Vice President of the European Commission, and he will share with us now his views on strengthening the EU's competitiveness and resilience, and also the central role of investment. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Dombrovskis.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to return to the European Investment Bank, this time with a new president in office. So thank you, Nadia, and many thanks to the EIB for inviting me to speak at your second EIB Group Forum. It is a good opportunity to discuss how to strengthen the EU's competitiveness and the vital role played by investment and by the EIB as well to ensure our long-term growth. This is a period of specific economic and industrial shifts, not least with the green and digital transitions, the energy crisis, and today's tense geopolitical landscape. Entire sectors and regions are going through major transformations. They bring new markets, technologies, and infrastructure, as well as new challenges for EU companies and entrepreneurs. It is them who invest first in innovation and the products and systems of the future, who will secure competitive place in the new global economy. And competitiveness is key. It is the engine of the European social market economy. However, there are certain long-standing and well-known weaknesses that risks making the EU less internationally competitive. We should look again at these against the backdrop of new challenges and shifts that I just mentioned. Take our low growth in labor productivity. Here, since the 1990s, the EU has fallen well behind the United States due to sluggish investment and a slowing down in technological progress. At the same time, emerging market economies such as China have narrowed productivity gaps towards Europe. Research and development is another example. The EU's innovative performance is falling short of that of the United States, Japan, and China. Why? Because, among other reasons, we spend less on R&D. The bottom line is that our competitiveness engine needs maintenance. We also need to keep up with others who are racing ahead. So the question is how we maintain our competitive edge. The European Commission has set out a strategy to maintain and increase EU's long-term competitiveness, both at home and abroad. It identifies 9 key areas where we should focus, ranging from investment and financing to open trade and skills, along with smarter regulation. Investment is critical. I cannot stress enough how important it is for the EU's economic growth, competitiveness and resilience, while preserving our open strategic autonomy. EU companies, including SMEs, need to improve their processes, equipment and products. Workers need to adjust and upgrade their skills. National, regional and local governments need to make sure that the right infrastructure is in place to meet new challenges arising from twin transitions and allow our economy to innovate and thrive. Since our investment needs are massive, we are looking above all to the private sector to help us to meet our key policy aims. An obvious key to unlocking the door to more private investments is a capital markets union. This project is central to diversifying sources of funding for EU companies and allocating capital efficiently across the EU. Deepening and further integrating Europe's capital markets is the most cost-effective step we can take to drive capital towards long-term investments. During this mandate, we have made more advances towards capital markets union. Last week, for example, the European Parliament and Council reached an agreement on the Listing Act, which will make it easier for SMEs to list on stock exchanges. However, there is still work to do to achieve genuine capital markets union. It includes in removing the national fragmentation that is holding up cross-border investments. At the moment, the size and depth of the EU capital markets is still inadequate to support EU's future growth. So we welcome also the ongoing reflections by member states and stakeholders on the way forward. This is only part of the broader work we are doing to strengthen the EU's single market. It plays a key role in building a resilient economic base that will keep us competitive in the long term. So we need to strengthen it and integrate it further. Next, openness. Much of our economic strength comes from being an export and trade powerhouse, as well as having an open economy that is attractive to foreign investment. At the end of 2022, in the EU, foreign direct investment stocks held by non-EU investors amounted to 7.7 trillion euros. However, at a time of such profound geopolitical turmoil and rapid technological change, we must be realistic and precise about security risks that certain investments may pose. This is why we are moving ahead with a European economic security strategy. Its three pillars, promote, protect, and partner, are equally important, and they cannot be seen in isolation. This strategy aims to increase EU's capacity to assess risks and vulnerabilities and to address them proportionately and precisely. For example, our proposal to revise the existing regulation on foreign direct investment screening is designed to improve its efficiency in identifying and assessing security risks. At the same time, it preserves our fundamental objective of remaining open to foreign investment. The partnership element is just as important for our economic security. For example, we are diversifying by developing mutually beneficial strategic partnerships with reliable partners in areas such as critical raw materials. In short, we will stay open to trade and investment, but we will defend and protect ourselves when we have to. We are also working to create an attractive business environment with skilled workers, a smart regulatory environment with fewer administrative burdens for companies. The idea is to attract companies to the EU, encourage them to invest, and also to ensure the best environment for our own companies. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, let me turn to the European Investment Bank itself. The EIB Group continues to play a key role in carrying out and reinforcing EU policies and priorities on the ground, guiding and catalyzing public and private financing accordingly. Along with being the EU's financing arm, the EIB has become the EU's climate bank. It is helping to make the Green Deal a reality, stimulating innovation, as well as strengthening the EU's competitiveness and its leadership in green technologies. So we warmly welcome the EIB's record investments of 49 billion euros in green projects in 2023. These account for nearly 56% of its total financing, and the EIB Group is on track to achieve its goal of 1 trillion euros of green financing by the end of the decade. The EIB's support for EU policies and initiatives are indispensable for their success. To name a few, REPowerEU and the recent wind power package, also areas like 5G, semiconductor industry, and RDI activity in lithium-ion battery cells. It is precisely because of EIB's key role in mobilizing investments that its alignment with EU policy priorities and strategic intervention in critical areas is crucial. This is why we would like to see the EIB Group explore its risk-taking potential further, combined with higher additionality, while preserving its solid credit ratings. The EIB activities are also important outside the EU. This includes the EIB's indispensable support for Ukraine, The EIB will also be one of the key partners for implementing the Ukraine facility just agreed by co-legislators. So together we'll provide stable and predictable financing for Ukraine up to 2027. Furthermore, the EIB contributes to rolling out our global gateway strategy. This is a geopolitical project that seeks to position the EU in a competitive international marketplace while supporting our partner countries in responding to their investment needs. Its focus is on smart investments in quality infrastructure, respecting the highest social and environmental standards. This is in line with the EU's interests and values. And supporting sustainable connectivity in Central Asia is just a recent example. We want to see the EIB to continue its operations in our partner countries, and those operations are strategic and bring genuine value added. Ladies and gentlemen, for decades, the EIB has been our closest partner in turning the EU's policy ambitions into reality on the ground. Its activities play a key part in maintaining our competitiveness, keeping us at the technological cutting edge to support the twin transitions, and strengthening our resilience. Given today's geopolitical tensions, global market fragmentation, and supply chain disruptions, we will need the EIB's support and catalyzing effect more than ever in the years ahead. So I wish the European Investment Bank every success and a productive and successful remainder of this forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dombrovskis, for having given us a little bit more food for thought. You have now time for a coffee break and to network with fellow attendees of this conference. And please be back in this room at 4 o'clock so that we can continue with our programs and our next promising panels. And also for those watching us remotely, we will continue at 4 o'clock. So see you soon. Thank you.